Welcome to the checkpoint, and thank you very much for having us. We know you are very busy and we are very grateful to meet you.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure.
Thank you. Now we start with the security situation in the country. Recently, some people who are allied to the former regime sneak into the country, and there's this perception that security-wise our borders are loose. What is the government doing?
It was a real security failure. I think at every level we admit that. But you can always learn from your mistakes. We are working very hard to work on the reforms, especially in the area of the security sector. These reforms are very important. As I have said on Tuesday, business cannot be as usual. If business remains to be as usual, then the purpose of the new Gambia will be defeated. The security sector needs to be reformed, and reforming the security sector, we need to educate them. That is fundamental and is key. Educating them means giving them capacity, and that capacity building is a process that we want to start as far as the security sector is concerned.
Now, any specifics, like when we say capacity building, are they going to have new equipment, new training abroad? Or?
I think a lot of them even have been going on training outside, and we are also in consultation with big countries that can support us as far as equipments are concerned. I think you have seen the donation with the Chinese. This is the connection with government to make sure we improve the status of the police and also give them that much confidence.
Yes, it has to do with democracy, that a democratic society is very difficult to police. People are free, and sometimes they tend to abuse that freedom.
I think democracy is the best way. We are in the 21st century. Everybody is going in the same direction. Gambia cannot be an exception. The bottom line is, countries were in this situation, but they have moved on. And we have to learn from those countries. Countries like Ghana, countries like Nigeria. I discussed it with Buhari. They have moved on. And the path is democracy. I think it's because of democracy that the GRTS is improving now.
So democracy is the way out. Now, we look at recent political disturbances, what happened in Nankanamkunda and in Bisumbala. What is the government doing to avoid such?
We are taking a lot of measures. As I said, we learn from our mistakes. As I now the plans are, any big political rally, we will have police escort. Why police escort? The group that is allocated the police escort will be mindful, because the police will be there as our witness. And it can also deter others who want to create problems. These are the measures we are taking, short-term measures, but it didn't stop there. We will educate the people. I think that is the bottom line. The mindset must change.
Now, I will engage in the political parties on this front. And this blanket ban on politics, some are saying that amounts to collective punishment.
We are engaging the political parties at the highest level. You have seen the chiefs of the police are now part of the committees that are looking into this with the political parties. That is the inter-party committee. So now we want the security to be involved.
Does the inter-party committee support the blanket ban on political activities for now?
It's not a matter of supporting, but we are looking at the interests of the Gambia. What is the best for Gambia at this particular time? That is the most important.
Your Excellency, we come to the economy. How strong is the economy?
I'm really excited about this question. When we took over government, we inherited a bankrupt nation in all aspects, every area. We inherited an economy that is less than 1 month in cover. We are only going on a pay-as-you-go. Soft loans from the banks, local banks, very high interest rates to run this country. But today, we are proud to announce that we are 4 months import cover. And I can also proudly tell you that my governor of the central bank is the governor of the year in Africa. We have turned the corner. Even the multilateral, including IMF, they are surprised how we are able to turn the corner.
Still on the economy, you campaign on a platform of socio-economic development. The national community and the government people have enormous goodwill for you, and they voted you into office, and they expected the cost of living to go down. Has it gone down?
I will say yes. But as far as governance is concerned, governance is a process. This is after 22 years of transition period, dictatorship. If you are on a campaign platform, you can say all sorts of things. But if you get to office, you face the reality. The reality is we inherited a bankrupt nation. Our priority was to stabilize the economy. As we are stable now, if you look at the bank interest rates have gone down, commercial banks, treasury bills have gone down, borrowing have gone down, and this is all interconnected. That's why we are winning the confidence of investors. The traffic at the ports is very high at now. Income have gone up by 25%. I think some commodities have gone down. I can name few. Flour. We were buying for $1,400. Now it's below $1,000. Sugar was $1,800, $1,900. It's about $1,200 something.
So if these economic reforms mature, we expect this thing to go down further.
It's going down. And I am very hopeful. Because there is a lot of goodwill. And I think with this good governance, with democracy believing in the principle of rule of law, that is opening of Gambia, we are winning the confidence of investors. And the private sector is key in growing the economy. And that is happening. I am within the 4 corners of State House, where you have a lot of traffic out there. People are busy, business is booming. The tourism sector, we used to have about 150,000 tourists a year. We are expecting over 200,000. And we are expecting almost 10 hotels coming up between 2018 and 2019. The tourism sector is going year round.
Okay, good. Recently, the Minister of Finance came out with a government vehicle policy that they say was expected to cut cost. And all of a sudden they said now it has been put on hold. Why was that the case?
So I say government is a process. After we look at certain things, we needed to get a comprehensive format, the best way forward. That's why we suspend it. For some of the technicians to look at these things. Because definitely we want to create jobs. We don't want people losing jobs. As we look at it, it will affect vulnerable people who are drivers, and we are looking at it closely. It's the interest of the Gambian people that is important here.
Okay, we come to salary increment. Many people expected salaries would be increased. It didn't happen.
Yes. As I told you, when you come to office, you face the reality. The reality is we are bankrupt. We are just starting to come up. We cannot do everything at the same time. But I think the path we are taking and the way we are progressing, definitely all indications are there that we will increase salary. It's not increasing salary, it will be a complete overhaul to look at the structure and everything.
Okay, come to that overhaul, like transport allowance has been increased to 1,500. House rent, not so much. the overhaul that is expected to come going to affect all those things to maintain a balance?
Yes, because this transfer allowance is just part of it. Because of this vehicle policy, if you are taking something from somebody, you have to give back. That's why it was part of the package. I think we have to look at it in a wider context, so that everybody will be part of it.
Good. We come to the education sector. No nation can move if people are not educated. And there are claims that the education sector for the past 20 years has gone down. People leave high school without the skills that is necessary or are necessary to propel them into the job market, or they can't even write good letters. What is the government doing to improve the education sector?
The standards have dropped drastically, but we have people at the education sector who are really committed to the education sector, and we need to encourage them. That's why right now I think we have 75 teachers who have been given scholarship to further their education, to give them more capacity, and at the same time we are also turning to another path, go into science and technology. The Minister of Higher Education was able to have scholarship offers basically all over the world, packages, and we will allocate this to 80% of students who will be doing science and technology. Because all countries that have succeeded, I think that was the path.
Yeah, still on that point, like if you look at the GTTI, that was the idea behind it, but it's not the best.
We are elevating GTTI to be elevated to the level of university, so that people will have training, and after the training, they will be qualified enough to create their own jobs or be employed.
Is the policy also looking at making teaching very attractive so that the best teachers will remain in the job and will leave for other jobs?
We really have a philanthropist couples who are helping the Gambia in the education sector. I think they are doing very well, because the environment itself is important, the infrastructure. Within a short period, they were able to build 400 and something classrooms, renovate over 500 classrooms. These are very good classrooms, with tile and everything, with solar system, quarters, teachers' quarters. And this project will continue for 5 years. All substandard schools will be built, and areas that are not privileged to have schools will be built. As we speak, they are going to build 45 classrooms for the University of the Gambia. They are supporting us, and I think that will help in the area of education. It will encourage people also because of the environment.
On infrastructure, we have a national development plan which I know covers all these things. But if we look at our highways, we have a lot of work to do. How can we revamp the road sector or the road network of the Gambia?
We have a lot of work to do. We have to open up. We have to connect Gambia. That channel of communication must open up. We are in the advanced state to sign 400-kilometer road between the Gambia government and an investor who is invested in that area and is doing these roads in Senegal, in other places, in Guinea. 400-kilometer roads within the period of 2 to 3 years, but our target is 1,000 kilometers before the end of our 5 years to connect the Gambia. And we are blessed also, China is also helping us, building us 2 bridges and a 50-kilometer road that is costing about 75 million that will connect the north and the south. Is that a grant or a loan? It's grant.
Good. Are you thinking of revamping or revitalizing river transport? In the 60s and 70s, the River Gambia was
a lot of investors who have interest in those areas. Even discussions are a very advanced stage to start that river transport thing, because transportation is very, very important. That will connect us together. It's very important as far as if we are serious to connect the Gambia, as far as trade is concerned. This thing must be there.
What about taking jobs to the rural areas? There's this saying, when you don't take cities to people, people will come to the cities. People in the rural areas are coming down to the condos, making the place congested, and the services are not there.
Infrastructure is part of that. If you create infrastructure, I think that is access. That will be very, very encouraging. We are even encouraging investors to build hotels in those areas. And there's 5-star, 4-star hotels in Basay and other areas. So at least we decentralize. I think that is key. PPP government, we are doing very well in those areas. But of recent, it have all collapsed. I think that is an area that we need to work very hard.
Good. We look at the proposed Truth and Reconciliation Commission. What state are we now?
We will get started in February. Everything is set up, and February we will take off.
February. Okay. We move to relations with the national community. Before you came to office, during your campaign, and when you came to office, the national community, that is the European Union, the Chinese, the Americans, everybody wants to help the Gambia and is still willing to help the Gambia. How are we going to take advantage of this international goodwill?
I think without the international goodwill, without taking that advantage, we will not have stabilized. They have been given in form of grants, budget support, and they are still willing to support this donors conference. Our main partners in the donors conference is the European Union. And German, we are choosing German to be our patron as far as the donors conference is concerned. And if you have a successful donors conference, it can turn the corner for this country. We're looking forward to that.
Okay. Still on governance and politics, not a long time ago, the former Interior Minister, Maifati, was replaced. What was the rationale behind that?
Whatever you are doing in this country, whatever I'm doing as president, I think becoming a president, it was a national duty. It was a national call. Whatever I'm doing in the interest of the Gambia. I'm doing it in the best interest of this country. Mai is my friend. He's my closest friend in the cabinet. He was my personal lawyer before presidency. So we are very close. And we still remain friends.
How healthy is the coalition government, the members of the coalition?
Even in a family, sometimes you disagree to agree on certain things. That's based on principle, but not in person.
It is as strong as before.
The coalition is intact, and we are focused in developing this country. I think we are doing that.
Some members of the coalition are saying, we will not stick by the 3-year thing. What is your personal take on this?
This debate will continue.
Yes, you want to hear from His Excellency himself.
It's very healthy.
Yes.
It's a debate. I am a strong character, and I believe in these principles. Not in personal, it's opinion. People have their opinion. In Senegal, the issue came up in Senegal, and the president said he will serve 5 years. He himself voluntarily said 5 years. After the end of the day, there was a big debate, but the final answer was the Senegalese people. I think it's the same thing that will happen in the Gambia. It's the Gambian people who will decide. If they say, President, we want you to go today, I will go today. But it's the Gambian people.
So sovereign power lies in the hands of the Gambians.
It's the Gambian people.
Excellent.
It's the Gambian people who have taken the decision. I was a private businessman. There was a call. It's national duty. I sacrificed answer to the call. And we are together. We succeeded.
I would be personal here. What is the most difficult aspect of being a president?
It's not the best job. Believe me, it's not the best job. I am somebody who comes from the grassroots. I used to visit a lot of people. I used to hang around and plaza and all sort of. But now that is all ceased from me. You don't have that liberty anymore. You are within the 4 corners of the State House. I think that's the most difficult part of it. I'm not enjoying that.
Good. Really. Still personal, many people said you are very humble. Where do you get your humility from?
I remain humble. And I think that have a lot to do with my background. I left my father's compound at the age of 7, between 7 and 8. From guardians, extended family, that's the way I am brought up. So I've been suppressed all my life until I got to this level. So if I have passed through that, I think that was a learning process for me. So that made me humble. And I am more humble now than before. Because people who are suppressing me, who thought that you are not important, you are able to sail through until you get to this level. Because people trust you for what you are. I can tell you, it have contributed a lot for me to come to power. Because people know me as somebody humble. People know me as somebody who is hardworking. People know me as somebody who is honest. For 10 years, since 2006 up to 2016, I've been leaving my house to go to work 6:30 in the morning every day. I don't get home. If I get home early, it's 7 o'clock. So I say, today you are early. I get home 8 o'clock, I get home 9 o'clock. For 10 years, I've been living like that. At my own personal level. I get to my office at 7 o'clock in the morning, every day. When I was working at the private sector. So that has been my life, and that will not change. That's what Michelle Obama said. Be a president doesn't change whom you are. It reveals whom you are. I think that is.
On that note, Your Excellency, then you have to end it here. Thank you very much for having us and for being on the checkpoint. We are very grateful.
It's a great pleasure. I am pleased. I think the sky is the limit for this country. Let us all believe. We must all change our mindset to believe that we can do it. We have to get that courage. We have to be brave enough. Take that part. And what GRT is enjoying today is because of the principle of democracy. That's why there is a lot of sympathy. There is a lot of goodwill.